I hate pickles, is what I used to say before I started making my own. This is the recipe that got me to love pickles, and I cannot stress to you enough just how easy it is. I'll show you my exact process, step by step, to achieve perfectly crisp pickles every time. So crunchy and so tasty. These 3 ingredients are all you need to make fermented pickles at home, but there's one additional thing you need to make the crispiest pickles without fail. Let's start with the cucumbers. Mini cucumbers work the best for pickles because they don't require much work and you can use more of them. Organic ones tend to have a more diverse surface microbiome and are less likely to be wax coated, making for more consistent fermentation outcomes. But whether you use organic or conventional, make sure to rinse thoroughly. Every cucumber has 2 ends, one of which we need to cut off. These lighter blossom ends contain enzymes which soften the pickle over time, so cutting them off now helps to keep these puppies crisp for longer. About that much. Equipment wise, I highly recommend a couple things. One is a half-gallon, 2-liter, wide-mouth jar. Now, if I were just keeping it simple, I would start piling the cucumbers in right away, but I'm gonna show you how to spice up your pickles instead. But before I add anything to the jar, there is a simple formula that you need to know to make this work every time. This is a lactic acid fermentation that works best at a salt concentration between 2 and 3%, with 2.5% salt being ideal for flavor and 3% to slow down fermentation in warmer environments. 3% for 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24°C and above, 2.5% for anything less. Today, I'm using 3% because my AC is on the fritz. Now for the formula. Every ferment will have first the dry ingredients, that is the cucumbers and spices, and second, the wet ingredients, that is the water. The total weight of both the dry and the wet will be multiplied by either 0.025 or 0.03 to give the amount of salt you need to add. Basically, the amount of salt you need is based on the total weight of every ingredient in the jar. A scale like this one helps you ensure you get this right every time. Links to all the equipment I use will be in the description below. Weighing in grams, I zero out the jar and add in a handful of dill, then about a tablespoon of peppercorns, 3 cloves of peeled garlic, and 3 bay leaves. These are the secret to perfectly crisp pickles. The tannins they release help keep the pickles firm. Don't skip this. All the spices go in first because they will be held in place by the cucumbers. The tighter you pack these in, the better they stay submerged, and well, the more you have in the end. In total, we have 810 grams for the dry, but before adding the water, I find that it's best to put your fermentation weight in now. Do you need a weight? Debatable, but I'll never go back to not using one. Okay, now I add in the water, filtered ideally, just until it comes up about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters above the weight. This ensures everything stays submerged while leaving enough headroom for any expansion. If I added the weight after the fact, I'd have to add more water and do more math. 843 grams of wet, that makes for 1,653 grams of total weight, times my warmer 0.03 value equals about 49 grams of salt. I use this kind because it's one of the purest on the market, but most salts will work just fine. For this, I'm going to take the weight out for a second, and I just pour in 49 grams of salt. At first, the salt will just settle. To get it to dissolve, I just swoosh it around a bit. There, that's better. Since anything that floats could potentially mold if exposed to the air, I use a cabbage leaf to help keep everything submerged. Size to be a bit bigger than the opening of the jar, and stuffed in place to create a nice seal, followed again by the weight. If there's still some undissolved salt at the bottom, I just do a little bit of this, and it's gone. That is the ferment prepped. Dry, then wet, then salt. To allow some gas exchange while fermenting, twist the lid on until there's resistance, and then just a tad further. Place somewhere out of direct sun. Over the next few days, you are going to see some changes. Day 1, things are just getting started. There might be little to no activity, just burp if there's pressure buildup and pick out any floaters. Day 2 is already looking cloudy and the cucumbers have started to dull. All these bubbles indicate active fermentation. Again, burp and pick any floaters. By the 3rd day, things are fully active. The jar is even more cloudy, very bubbly, and the cucumbers have gotten darker. What you are seeing is fermentation foam, basically carbon dioxide from the ferment carrying tiny particles from the plant material and microbes to the surface. And this white, silky film mixed in with the bubbles is calm yeast, not mold. Remember, mold is fuzzy. All of this is harmless and a sign of active fermentation, but I like to scoop it out anyway to keep things clean. Day 4 looks a lot like day 3, only with more fermentation sediment. Oh, check this out. This is what happens when you ferment with the lid on tight. More CO2 gets trapped, and it not only leads to a satisfying spectacle, but it also makes the pickles taste more fizzy. For less carbonation, make sure to not tighten the lid. Now at this point, these are pickles. Most people should stop here, but if you prefer more tang, you can ferment for another day or 2. Any longer, and your pickles won't be so crisp. I let mine go for 5 days, and this is how they turned out.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Crisp and fizzy. After mellowing out in the fridge for a couple hours, these are perfect. Ferments like this can last in the fridge for more than a year, although they are best to eat within 6 months, if they last that long.